Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Today is Wednesday, May the 15th, 2013. We'll be looking at a little bit of market activity today, and then I'll show you guys some actual individual U.S. market charts. The main thing I want to show you here is today's activity. We talked about yesterday gold. We expected it to increase in volatility and move to the downside there. We saw that happen today. We also talked about anticipating the dollar to go higher, and we saw that as well today. So those are all in line. But I was also talking about that happening in line with starting to see a market sell-off, and then we saw that start to set up today. You saw that the S&P had made a move higher and then started to give it back, which gave us an intraday activity. You would have seen a shooting star formation. You'd seen a run up and then selling it off and then closing back where it had opened, and that's a shooting star is a sell signal. And then you see at the end of the day, we masked that. We see this move higher here that just changes the candlestick formation. Same thing happened in the Dow, and the same thing happened, of course, in the NASDAQ as well. Actually taking the lower, showing this one to be better sell than the others, as it actually took out the previous the open, so that was more important. Keep that in mind. But again, it masks it as, again, this is not new to us. We've seen this earlier this week, and we've also seen it in a different time period. I want to show you that now so that you're aware of it and know how to trade it. Okay, here we are looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. This chart is the candlestick formation here today was what I just showed you. The intraday activity would have been a shooting star, but instead we got the masking, so it just looks like a continuation signal higher here. It doesn't actually show a sell pressure, which actually we know is there because we saw it intraday. This has happened before. We saw the same thing happening here as well as back here. So I want to point out that the way to trade this, rather than attempt to say, well, I think it's going to break down anyway, because it could still do it for a couple of days. So what I would do instead is wait for the first day of selling. When you have a good sell day, then start selling there. And I'll show you a better example once more already developed in a moment. But that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be waiting, watching this market, and as soon as we have a down day, I'll start selling there with a stop set off the high and continue to watch it move to the downside. Okay, here we are looking at the Australian market, the AORD. This is a better picture of what I'm talking about. In this particular case, you had this run up here, and then you had the shooting star, which is what we look for, and then we had a couple more days to the upside, and then intraday we came up here, stopped ourselves out, and went lower anyway. We know the top is here. We can see it developing on very many different ways of analyzing it. The bearish divergence formation we've talked about in the past, but again, you don't want to start selling just because you have a bearish divergence formation. You need to see something else. You need to see some sell pressure developing, and we were using this candlestick formation here, confirmation the following day. But even in this case, it's not guaranteed you're going to get into the top. And then again, in this case here, we didn't. We got stopped out, and then we were right anyway. She's breaking down here. So what I'm going to do here is sell at this point here, meaning this close here and higher. Anything in there, I will sell with a stop set off this high, 1 cent above that. So I'll mark the chart right now. Okay, the chart has been updated. You can see the signal here as well as the entry point. Anything in this range here, I want to be shorting. And then looking for this to pull back to at least a 50-period moving average, if not much lower. You also have some other charts. Look at the Toronto Stock Exchange now. Okay, here we are looking at the Toronto Stock Exchange, the TSX. You can see in this particular scenario we had the overbought condition, the ultimate oscillator, and a lower series of highs on the the oscillator here, indicating that we're seeing momentum fail here or decrease, and you can see at the same time period we were rallying higher on closes. This basically tells you that this rally here is not sustainable. It's going to roll over, break down. You don't start shorting as soon as it starts developing this formation. You need something else. You need some kind of a signal to take in place here. And in this particular case here, we have a lower close than we had over here, so we're obviously rolling over here, and I want to use that as my sell entry opportunity. Tight stop, set off the high right here, looking for this to test this low down here. It should be noted that the Toronto Stock Exchange is very sensitive to any movement in gold. So whenever you're looking at the gold chart, if you were to overlay it on the Toronto Stock Exchange, you'll see it matches very nicely. And again, if gold's dropping like we're seeing happen, then you expect Toronto Stock Exchange to follow suit as well. Quick little word of caution here on the, I believe it's a FTSE. You've got 10 consecutive days to the upside there. That's not sustainable. You can't just rally straight up. So be cautious there. If you're bullish, I'd be advancing my stop loss limit on that and be watching for an opportunity to get short there. If you've not been to the free website at PerfectStockAlert.com, it's right here. It's 100% free. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Also, if you want to view my personal market charts, you can go right here, and under the market section here, you can find my notations annotated on the charts, as well as my entry signals, stops, and so forth and so on. I update them every single night. Okay, both short-term and long-term charts are held there. Okay, God bless. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.